Hi everyone, this is the tutorial for Spot a Fake. My name's Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate this in standard tuning. However, to play along with the track, you'll need to detune down half a step. So the E string will become an E flat, the A string will become an A flat, the D will become a D flat, G will become a G flat, B would be a B flat, and E would become an E flat. However, like I said, I'm going to be in standard tuning for this because more than likely you are too. Now at the start of the song there's a vocal part, and then when the full instrumentation comes in, the first chord we need is an E minor chord, which is an open E, 2 on the A and D strings, and then an open set of strings at the bottom, G, B and E. Now I'll talk about the chords first, and then I'll talk about strumming and structure afterwards. The second chord that we need is a C major chord, which is 3 on the A string, 2 on the D, an open G, 1 on the B, and an open E. The next part of the verse has 2 more chords. This first one is an A minor chord, which is an open A string, 2 on the D, 2 on the G, 1 on the B, and an open E. And the last chord that we need, a bit of a tricky one, a B7 chord, which is 2 on the A string, 1 on the D, 2 on the G, an open B, and then little finger 2 on the high E string. We don't play the E string for that chord. So, the main chords of the verse, E minor, C, A minor, and B7. Now, in terms of how we play those chords, there's no real guitar part in it, so we can kind of come up with our own ideas, and this is what I think fits really well with the vibe of the track. So you can hear that I stay on that E minor chord for 4 lots of bars. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I then have 2 lots of C, 1 of A, and 1 of B. And what I'm roughly doing for the strumming, dun, 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 for the first bar, which is down, up, down, up, down, down. And then for the second bar, the next bar, I'll have a down, 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 up, down. So we've got So I'm basically doing that every 2 bars using roughly that rhythm. It may change a little bit, but that's the kind of rough idea that I'm sticking to. Like I said, we can be a little bit creative with how we strum the guitar for this because there's no real guitar part. However, that I think works really well with the verse. So, just before we talk about the next set of chords for the next section, which changes things again and introduces new chords, if you would like to get the chord chart for this, which has all the chords and the full structure, as well as the chords and the lyrics matched up, then head on over to Patreon. There is a link in the description, and for the price of a coffee, then you can get everything wrote out professionally, as well as access to over 350 other songs. So yeah, pretty good deal in my opinion. So yeah, feel free to check that out. Moving on to the next part of the song, which is the pre-chorus. Now the pre-chorus starts off with an E minor chord. We then move to a new chord of D major, which is an open D string, 2 on the G, 3 on the B, 2 on the high E. We then go to C major, then 1 bar of A minor to 1 bar of B7. So you can see it's very similar to the verse, but instead of 4 lots of E minor, we have just 2, and then we have 2 lots of D straight after it. Now if you wanted to change the strumming of the pre-chorus before it leads into the kind of really lively chorus section, you could sustain the chords, and all I mean by that is letting them ring out like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we now get to the chorus, which has just, again, a minor difference in this. So it might be worth checking out that link over on Patreon. Just saves you from trying to memorize it or trying to write it down and potentially making a mistake. Now the chorus, looking over to my notes, we have E minor, C major, A minor for 2 bars, D major, and then technically an E flat major chord. Now there's a few ways of playing this on the guitar. The easiest way is taking a D major chord, sliding it up a fret, and just playing those bottom 3 strings. You can play it in other ways, so you could play like that, which is a bar chord on fret 6 of the A string, and then 8, 8, 8 on the remaining strings. However, that is a big jump. Sounds a little bit out of place. So yeah, that to that would work really, really well. Now, if you play all those chords in order twice, you get the full chorus. And looking over to my notes, we start to get a bit of repetition. So we have a second verse, which, looking over to my notes, is exactly the same as the first verse. We have a pre-chorus and chorus, which again, exactly the same as the parts I've already talked to you about. So basically up to now, repeating everything. However, we then get a post-chorus, which finishes the song. And the post-chorus is E minor, C major, A minor, D major, then that E flat chord. You then play it all a second time. Now on the second time at the very end, when you play the D, then the E flat, you then cut off the sound. There is no resolution to that E flat chord. It kind of wants to go back to E minor, but it doesn't. It stays on that E flat, stops, and then that is the end of the song. That's everything we need to get through this song. I really like this song. Yeah, I've not really heard much by Ava Max before. This one I think is really, really good. So please like and subscribe if you found this video useful, and consider getting the extra material over on Patreon, as it's only the cost of a coffee. So yeah, what you're doing, go get it. Right, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.